Hey friends, welcome back. I'm in the lower garden today and I don't have a whole lot of time today, but I want to get a couple of things done. We are working on the meadow. What will one day be the meadow. Now, truth be told, I am probably not going to plant this out until next year because perennials are all dying back and I'm running out of time before really the ground is frozen like a rock. However, I want to get a couple of things going in here. First, I think I'm going to start deciding on some evergreen elements for this garden. One of you actually asked what I was planning for this area to give it some evergreen oomph, and you were spot on. It was such a great question. The three top contenders I have right now are a Pittosporum Golf Ball. Great selection, kind of a minty leaf, dark black stem. The second one that's been on my radar is a Taxus baccata. Now, to my right over here, my hedge, that's a Taxus fastigiata. So those ones are upright. Those are my hedging elements. This one is HM Eddy, and then I have the straight species fastigiata in the front garden. Baccata is low and it's mounding. They sometimes refer to it as a spreading yew. Now, my third option that I'm kind of noodling on is, it might be my front runner. It might be my front runner, but it is a Mugo Pine. Now, Mugo Pine is kind of an interesting selection because there's so many different forms out there. There's our classic Pomelio, that's a lovely one, but there's also ones like Karsten's Gold, or I think sometimes it might be Karsten's Winter Gold, but nevertheless, it's green in the summer and then bright goldy green in the winter. It's so fabulous. But with all three of these selections, what I'm kind of gravitating toward is incorporating some low clipped shapes within the meadow behind me. And essentially what I've landed on is this is going to be a modified modern meadow. So think matrix style plantings, meaning it's like a puzzle of drifts of plants working through the landscape. And then to anchor it, I'm thinking of having these clipped ball shapes coming through, because one thing I've really been noticing about myself when I'm looking for design inspiration and I'm studying the work of people that have come before me or who are my contemporaries is I love a clipped shape. I think what it does is it adds beautiful structure that allows the rest of your plantings to be totally wild. And so for me, when I want this wild form here, I think it's gonna almost heighten the impact of that by bringing in clipped shapes. Now, I'm not gonna like run these down the middle or do something really expected. Instead, what I'm kind of thinking is, one of my plans is to have a water feature right here, almost like a bubbling over dish shape, if you will. We already have conduit buried for electrical, for the pump, so on and so forth. But I'm kind of thinking a water feature here. With that in mind, I'm actually thinking potentially in front here, I do one of my low mounded shapes and then have some kind of wildness coming around it. Now, as we get back here a little bit, I'm actually thinking of adding in a trio of clipped shapes back here because I love this asymmetrical leaf shape. And so to have one over there and then to have a trio back here with lots of fun things popping up in between them, I think that's going to be the move. Now, I'm probably not going to go shopping for those until maybe next week or the week after. But in the meantime, one thing I really want is I really want Alliums in this space. I want it to be playful and fun. So I am going to start planting some Alliums, even though this is totally backwards. Normally you should put in all of your plants, but I'm impatient and I already have Alliums, so I'm gonna chuck them in. I'm gonna go through the Alliums that I'm playing with and the reason that I'm choosing so many of them. I have a ton of Alliums that I purchased from Costco months ago, and I'm finally getting around to putting them in the ground. Let me show you my tray. If you didn't watch this video, this is how I basically repackage all of my Costco bulbs to make sure that they actually last until I have a chance to plant them, because I know myself, I know I'm gonna do all my clients first, and I'm not gonna get to these bulbs until like November or December. So here's what I have. I have a variety of bulbs, and let me kind of run these down. Now, I have a bunch of these drumstick Alliums. We are not going to put these in today. These ones I'm actually planning for the corner by my rudbeckia and my oak leaf hydrangeas. I'm also, oh my gosh, one of you is reading my mind out there. There is a blonde ambition grass that I'm also going to add to this area because in my mind, the combination of rudbeckia and that blonde ambition grass, I mean, even throw a rose in there and that is such a great combination. It's so killer. So I'm going to set these aside and I'm going to save them for that area. All right, next up, I have a bevy of amazing alliums. You know, first and foremost, well, let's get one out of the way. Allium Schubertii. This is the shortest of all my alliums, but I love it. And I think it looks like a tiny firework. It's just amazing. Funny enough, right behind me where my Helen von Stein lamb's ear is and my velvetini. Oh, you stop it right there. Don't you even think about it. Who do you think you are? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me? Excuse me? No. You guys, that is ridiculous. That bunny was not afraid of me at all. And he was chubby too. All right, I see you. I see you, Mr. Bunny. Side note, that's why I'm playing with alliums down here because bunnies don't like them. Where were we before we were so rudely interrupted by Peter Rabbit? Ooh. Schubertii, one of my favorite alliums of all time. It's a shorty, so think like 18 inches tall. This one I'm going to actually, you know, I think I'm actually going to plant this in a few areas, one of which is behind me with my velvetini and my Helen von Stein. This is a great front of border allium. It's so, so, so great. And I love just to leave it forever in the landscape because it looks like a tiny firework. So Schubertii, major, major winner. And so I'm going to choose carefully where I'm going to put this little one. Next up, I have an allium called Mount Everest. This is a white allium. It is sensational. Sadly, I only have 18 of them. I wish I had about 8,000 more because they are so beautiful. So I may order more for the year to come, but I think 18 is going to be sufficient for what we're doing today. Next on my list, I always feel like you need an allium that you're going to install in bulk because what it does is it makes way for all of these other little special monsters. So for me, that is this allium called Stratos, and I have 90 of them. I have 90 of them. And so I think that is going to do a really great job of adding heft and bulk to this center island. So just to recap, for the central island, we have Allium Mount Everest, we have Stratos, and I even have 4 Pinball Wizard that we are going to add there. And if I have time and space, I may add a few Schubertii just around the edges, but I'm going to keep with these two, they're pretty tall, and so I'm going to keep these mainly down the center of this landscape. Now around the perimeter on the outer edges, I also have Purple Sensation and I have Gladiator. And so I'm going to have to plant those another day because I don't think I have enough time. But we are going to get these guys in the ground and I'm going to keep everything kind of like a river running down the middle because that will allow me to plant into that area and have it feel really organic. We are going to put the matrix of alliums into this bed. So Mount Vernon, Stratos, and I've got a few Pinball Wizard that I'm going to throw in there as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and lay them all out to make sure my spacing is even. And then I am going to grab my power planter because I am running out of daylight. You guys, these days are short and our sun is going down at like 4 o'clock max. The more I was thinking about this, the more I'm thinking I am going to add a few white Mount Everest alliums over here by this lovely Tudor. I think I need some height and some drama in there. And so I'm gonna add some Mount Everest, and then I think I'm also gonna add a few Stratos over there. And then, gosh, maybe if I have time, I will dig out some gladiators and add them too. But I think I'm just gonna do the Mount Everest and the Stratos for now, and it's gonna be gorgeous. And I'm gonna kind of tuck them more towards the back because I know I'm not planting directly on the fence line, but I do want my little rose Tudor here to have some nice kind of anchoring elements around it. Also, one of you suggested planting roses and clematis together. I love that idea. So thank you so much to whoever suggested that. It was such a good one. And this is where it's been really fun to like have some of your guys' excitement in the garden with me because it just helps the dream feel more alive. You guys, that took no time at all because I am using my beloved power planter. Here's the thing. I've used this in clay, in rock. I mean, and we're talking rock so thick, like you practically need a pickaxe. It's stupid. And then my soil is sandy, but still, are you kidding me? This took no time at all. And so I upgraded, by the way, I'll leave a link to this below. It is an affiliate link, but honestly, like I would tell you I love this thing regardless because I bought this with my own money. This is hands down probably one of the best investments I made this year because I plant so many bulbs. And if you're doing like a big narcissus or an allium bulb, my little cheap one that I got off Amazon like 5 years ago, it just does not cut the mustard. Like you can't even squeeze the darn thing in there. So this pink little bad boy, I love it. I have kind of like, I use this bigger one that has more of these kind of like little digger pieces on it. I'm sure that's not the correct terminology. Garden Answer has one that I own as well. This one is 2 feet. Hers is 3 feet. And then also the other one I love is I've got a tiny pink one and I use that all the time. So when I have clients who want like a driveway enhancement with annuals for summer or fall, I use that because I'm planting on my hands and knees. And so I don't like the up and down and up and down. It's too hard on my body. And so usually I just stay down and I take my little DeWalt drill and I just zip all those guys in. Okay. Sun is going down. I'm gonna get back after it. I'm gonna slam these in the ground and then we're gonna do my little tiny Tudor. The tiniest sliver of daylight left. Sun is ducked down behind the hill. Can I do any more? Can I push through? Okay, I think I can. Last thing I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna put in like somewhere between 5 and 10 Schubertii alliums in this little corner that I've done because I love the Schubertii. Coming up through the Helen von Stein lamb's ear, it'll come up just above it and be kind of like floating on a little cloud. And I think it's gonna be an awesome, awesome color next to the Velveteeny as well. So I'm gonna put you down real quick and we're gonna get those last bulbs in. And I think the rest of the border is just gonna have to wait. I'm only one woman and these days are short. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we did it. We did it. We did it. The leaf is planted. I know as I plant things, I'm probably gonna be digging up alliums. However, they're in the ground. I can move them. If nothing else, even if half of them come up, I have won the game because they were such a good deal at Costco and they're gonna be sensational. And I doubt I'm gonna have this entire thing planted by the time spring comes when the alliums are gonna be on approach. To have this tiny corner planted is bringing me so much joy. And what I've done is, if you remember, I planted my little Iris reticulata down here, and now we have our next layer of the Allium Schubertii. And this is one of those things where I am in this garden, I'm putting the most favorite of favorite moments where I get to see them on the regular. So this is the pathway down to where I park my car, and I get to see it every time I walk to my car. So literally every day I get to enjoy this sweet little triangle. The other thing is this area is visible from the little window where I make my coffee every morning. And again, I look down on it every single day, and it is bringing me so much joy. So please let this be a lesson to put the plants you love most in a place where you get to enjoy them practically every day. Okay, I'm gonna get going inside. The sun is officially set, but I am wishing you well wherever you are. Thank you for coming along on another garden adventure. I'll see you in the next one. And in the meantime, as always, please say hello to your garden for me.